Good afternoon, students. Up to till yesterday's class, I have taken the definitions of management and we have seen the functions of management. So I'll scroll the slides whichever we have seen already. So this is actually which we have discussed in the previous class, that is 1 hour Zoom class. We have completed these topics, but I'm again giving some recollection whichever we have seen in yesterday's class. So we will see from the topic of managerial skills actually 1 minute. So this particular slide will be talking about the managerial skills where they'll be talking about conceptual skills, human skills, and technical skills. So these three skills are very very vital for if you are put up in a middle level management or top level management. So these three skills what we'll be talking here is first thing is technical skills. That is a person's knowledge and ability to make effective use of any process or a technique that constitutes his technical abilities. So the knowledge and the ability to make effective use of any process that is applicable in the production industries. So technically a person if he is very strong means normally we can say him as he is a technically strong person. So example we can tell an engineer might be a technically sound person in his field. Then an accountant will be very strong in his numbers where he'll be calculating tax and other details. Then data entry operators, lawyers, doctors, everybody we can take into account where they'll be having knowledge in their field. So in-depth knowledge they'll be having. So these technical skills will be useful, or else the workers will be keeping on telling some unwanted issues if you're not having any technical knowledge. So you might be in a condition to believe whatever the subordinates are telling if you're not having any technical skills. Then comes here is human skills. So an individual's ability to cooperate with the members in the organization to work effectively in teams actually. This is what main thing is needed at present situations in any type of organization. Without teamwork and without the cooperation of your members, without the cooperation of your colleagues or your peer members, whoever it is, you cannot have a very good team. So that is actually very good human skills where everybody should have, mainly the two in a manager should have compulsorily this particular skills. Without that, certainly I've given here in the first example itself, interpersonal relationships. So if you're not having interpersonal relationship with each and every employees, you cannot maintain you cannot maintain anything in the organization in a smooth manner. So interpersonal relationships, then solving people's problem. So every time you should be coming forward to solve the various issues in the department with the people, and they should always keep telling something about positive attitudes to their subordinates where they should be always be motivated and acceptance of other employees. So you should convince in other way that employees should be accepting whatever the manager is telling in a manner, that language. So there are very good language which you can use where the workers, that is the employees, will be accepting the terms and conditions of the organization in a way the manager is telling. So it only every time the manager, that is middle level manager, should have lots of empathy. So if he's having empathy, you can easily convince the employees and make them to accept whatever the organization is telling in a conducive manner. So this is very much important in human skills, and then comes conceptual skills. So conceptual skills is that It is an ability of an individual to analyze complex situations and to rationally process and interpret available information. So, it only I told in the previous class itself, I was telling about uh, initiator. So, initiator will be having lots of idea generation and analytical process of information. Keep on talking about something in a different manner, whichever if it is good for the organization, you should try to accept that ideas, whichever is being whichever is being told by the employees. So if you're not accepting this idea generation or any other process of information, analytical process of information and all, if that employee is leaving the organization and they'll be going to the competitor's side and they'll be winning over there. So every time this conceptual skills will be helping for the companies to give some new ideas with the organization, and also it will be keeping on improving from the worker side. So if a worker is always telling about some new concepts, so if he is given weightage or importance in any meeting, so he will be happy to tell any new ideas in the coming times, so that company also can develop either in product wise or in service wise. You can keep on talk. So conceptual skills also is one of the important skill for the managers. So again, coming here, there are various roles, but we'll be talking only about three roles, which is very important for managers. One is interpersonal role, then informational role, and decisional role. So in the interpersonal role, he will be acting as a leader. So he'll be giving commands and orders to subordinates and to make effective decisions. So he will be in a position, or he should be not. He will be. He must be in a position to give commands and orders to the subordinates and to make effective decisions. And he will be also acting as a liaison officer, that is coordination between different departments, and also very big link between the top management and the lower level management, so to establish an alliances between different organizations also, because without the coordination of each and every departments, you cannot establish alliance also with any other organization. So you should keep on maintain a very good relationship between different departments also, and also between different organizations. And coming here in the first point, figurehead, it will be talking about the ethical guidelines and the principles of behavior employees or to follow in their dealings with customers and also with the suppliers. Talking about they should follow the ethical guidelines. Ethical guidelines means you should not break the rules of any uh, uh, you should not break the rules of any rules which is being imposed by the uh, governments. So you should follow the ethical rules and also the principles of the behavior employees or to follow in the dealing with the customers. So whatever the principles it is being created for the employees, you must try to ensure that they are following it even with their dealers and also with the customers and also with the suppliers. This is the main role actually for a manager, interpersonal role. And talking about informational role, so they'll be keeping on monitoring. They'll be evaluating the performance of managers in different areas, that is different functions, where people will talk about how they are functioning in each areas. So then comes a disseminator. So disseminator is communicate to employees the organization vision and purpose, where he'll be keeping on talking about what is that company vision and how the company should be there in next 5 years or 10 years. Every time you should be telling what is that they'll be doing after 5 years and what is the workers role in the organization, talking about what is their role as an employee. Without that is what actually we should give every time about the before giving training to employees, they should also give a orientation program about the company. So talking about the orientation program, they'll be talking about the company's vision and mission, and also how the organization is functioning and what is their core product, and who are all suppliers. They'll be giving a knowledge in orientation. So manager's role is to pass the information about the vision and purpose, that is vision and mission, and also the purpose of the organization which is being set up. So he'll be always talking about this, and he should also act as a spokesperson to give a speech to inform about the local community about the organization's future intentions. So wherever you go, you can talk about CSR, that is corporate social responsibility, talking about that is informing about the local community, what is their real intention about future intentions about organization setup to that particular area. Like that, you can keep on 6 months once or yearly twice. That is yearly twice. You should talk about what is that organization intentions towards public and also towards employees. Every time you should give a speech, or through somebody you should go and meet the people, go and meet the people with the local authorities, and also with the employees, where you can convince the people to talk about how the organization is helping in that particular area. And here is a decision making role. So he, in decision making role, he will be acting as an entrepreneur, resource allocator, negotiator, then disturbance handler. So in entrepreneur, he will be committing organization resources to develop innovative goods and services. That is actually keeping on talking about every time to at least, if you're thinking as an entrepreneur, every 2 years once you will be giving a different shape to your product or adding some additional service to that particular product. So if you are a very good entrepreneur, you will be keeping on thinking like that. So you will not be giving the same product for the past 5 years or 10 years. So you will be having small changes here and there, and you will be doing some additional features towards the product, everything. And then disturbance handler, to take corrective action to deal with unexpected problems. Every person, every middle level managers will be facing an problem in the organization every hour, every minute. Also sometimes they'll be facing a problem, so that either from the external or also from the internal environments. So they should take an corrective action immediately. They should not wait. If it is very serious decision, you can convey to top management, or if it is only minor decision, you can try to take decisions from your point of view. And because every day minimum 10 to 15 problems a middle level person will be having it. So each and every problems you cannot carry to top management. You should try to sort out the problem within that level itself. Then comes here is resource allocator. In the resource allocator, where they'll be allocating the existing resource among different functions and departments. So how you're going to distribute the funds or the resources whichever is available, with available resources from you, and equally you should divide depending upon the weightage of the departments. You should divide it, and you should allocate different resources. If you're not wise, so you sometimes the department which is not needed a huge resource, if you are allocating, that it will be going in a wrong manner. So you should find out which departments really need maximum resources and which department really needs minimum resources, and according to that functions you can split that existing resources, and you can distribute it. And compulsorily, where this point is talking about negotiator. Negotiator means not only with the workers, here talking with suppliers, distributors, and internally when you're talking about internal customers, that is labor unions. So internal, the suppliers and distributors or external customers, but labor, that is employees or internal customers. So how you are going to negotiate with each and every type of personalities. So personalities means your suppliers, distributors, and also employees here. So depending upon the situations, you will be taking decisions, and according to that, you will be having an effective role for an managers here. So three roles where we'll be seeing, we have seen today's, where interpersonal role, informational role, and decisional role. These three roles are very important for an effective managers. So this is again, this also I think we have seen, but anyway, we will be seeing it now also. Middle level managers, sorry, types of managers. There will be three categories here. First line managers, that is the first line managers, they will be called, often called as supervisors. So they'll be standing at the bottom of the hierarchy. Then middle level managers, they'll be acting as various department heads, and they'll be allocating the resources to achieve organizational goals. So top managers, normally they set organizational goals and strategies to implement them and to make effective decisions. So I think with that we'll see, because already we have seen that particular topic, types of managers. Okay, so we have given in a short lecture like that. So here this particular slide is um, what makes managers successful. So the manager should be an hardworking personality, a smart work. That is what every time smart work means. You should know the difference between efficient and effective. So efficient and effective, you should know the difference. Then you will be knowing what is real smart work is. And then patience. So the manager should have lots of patience to listen. You should not only pass the orders. Sometimes you should listen what the employees are telling. That much patience you should have. Then every time manager should not be thinking in the same angle. You should be sometimes thinking out of box thinking. Then every time, if you should be updated, so that you should always read something, and you should acquire knowledge. So you should be always updated if you are reading, and if you are gathering information from any side, that also it will be helpful. In ethical consciousness, every time you should always be having ethical consciousness, both for in the for the internal customers and also for the external customers. Then relationship maintenance, that is collaborative relationships. Then uh, perseverance. So how you are going to maintain the same, if you're maintaining same level of motivation in the organization, how you are going to maintain in the future also. Say after 10 years also, the employee should be happy in the organization, because they give this much benefits or this much uh, techniques they give for me to maintain or to either financially or non-financial motivations. You can keep on talk about that particular area is preservance, how you're going to maintain the employees in a very good manner. So with this we'll be concluding about the functions of management, and what makes managers successful, and various levels of managers, and also the various roles of managers. Everything we have seen in this particular slides. And next class we'll be talking about uh, F.W. Taylor's scientific rule of management. So with this I conclude this particular chapter.